Hey everybody, it's Eric with Eric's Garage coming at you again today from American Legends. And I got my man here, Tony, and I'll tell you what, I am in car heaven at his place, American Legends, up in North Phoenix area. But anyhow, I'm here again to do a video of the Corruptt Mustang, and it's getting ready to go to paint right now. And Tony, this is Father's Day. He's got kids at home and he's spending time away from his family to get this build done because he's got a goal to get his car to SEMA and to do really well at SEMA, and that way it'll expand his business exponentially. So my goal in this whole effort here with you guys at Eric's Garage AZ is for you to like, share, subscribe to this video, do positive comments about Tony's build, do positive comments about American Legends, do positive comments about SEMA, and of course do positive comments about me once in a while, which would be cool. But anyhow, Tony, thanks a lot for being here, man. I really do appreciate it. You're a cool dude. I love coming here. Like I said this morning when I first arrived, I'm in freaking heaven, and I could sit here all day just sweeping the floors going, oh my God, look at these cars, right? So it's cool. Give me a little update about what's happened with Corruptt?
So it's been basically completely blown apart. We've had the whole car E-coated, which is kind of an electronic paint process. It seals it in, and that's what they'll bodywork and do paint on top of. So they don't have to try to etch the metal. It's actually electronically bonded to it. So it's a much better adhesion process.
So the adhesion process, when you say electronic, it basically kind of provides some sort of a charge to it or something like that?
Yeah, it's electronically applied. It's basically like a thin powder coat.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So they put the whole car in the oven and bake it all on. So it's a nightmare to get off on stuff when we're doing some small repairs after the fact.
Okay.
But it's really good for longevity. I mean, it's literally everywhere.
This is what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, that's all E-coat.
E-coat here, and you said it's a bugger to get off. Like you had to do some.
Yeah, we started doing
here.
Some of the gaps and stuff.
Okay.
And it doesn't come off easy. It's not like paint by any means. So.
Okay. All right. So you have to kind of grind it off and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just even grinding it off. It's pretty thick, but it's really hard too and durable.
I see. So you have to use different kind of grinder or just more elbow grease.
Yeah, just more elbow grease. It just takes a little longer.
I understand. All right, cool. So give us a little update. I mean, everybody keeps asking about the Ferrari twin turbo, so we're going to work our way to the front here. Well, this is like crazy. And the last time we videoed, you said it's called Corruptt because basically the whole thing is corrupt from top to bottom. So fill us in on that again. This is not your typical build car, and this is going to SEMA, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things, I guess, that you wouldn't do. I mean, most people wouldn't start with a coupe. I guess a lot of people, this is more of a parts car, and a lot of people, everybody's like, why didn't you build a fastback? But right. I've had this car for 14 years, and, I think the roof profile with the chop and everything, it's what I want, and it makes it unique being a coupe, because you just don't see people build them to this caliber at all.
Okay.
So.
All right. And you put a whole lot of time and effort. Again, it's Father's Day, so hopefully be able to go home and have...
I'm on a deadline.
I do understand that.
Deadlines
right?
don't care.
No, they don't care. No. So we have the Ferrari twin turbo. And the last time we were here, we didn't have the turbo in. So here's one of them. Yeah. That's a turbo right there.
They're just working on mocking up, if you look down in there further, working on mocking up water lines and some of the oil systems. So all that turbo basically just is loosely installed while we're mocking some stuff up.
Okay, I got
kind of some final fitment things as far as, fitting the blow-by tank that's in the back, the oil tank for the dry sump system, the export braces in there now. I don't want to have to obviously change anything after it's painted, so we're doing all the last little mock-up stuff that's necessary, and some stuff will still be fabricated and made once it's painted, but right now this is about as far as it needs to go before we can disassemble it for the last time.
All right, super. Now, I know I asked you once before what Ferrari engine this came out of, and you said it was kind of like a corrupt version of different Ferrari engines, and so they keep asking, the fans keep asking.
The motor's 430 based, and then the intake manifold is Ferrari California, because the 430 would have been a mid-engine setup, and the intake is also quite a bit taller, and my goal was to fit this whole thing under a flat stock hood. Okay. So I couldn't use the 458 or the 430 intake, so we did the California intake, and then the whole engine's got a ton of LS components on it as well to make it run.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So makes it a little easier to...
And you said flat hood. Notice there's not a big, huge rise in his hood. So it's definitely a flat hood. We have this Ferrari engine in here. And what would you say base horsepower is going to be in this thing?
We'll probably be somewhere around 700 initially.
Okay. All right.
Without
700 at the flywheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without building the engine, it's tough
Okay.
to get much more than that. They're not necessarily made for boost.
Right.
So,
okay.
but we want to get a little more out of it than
There
stock.
you go. No, I can't say that. And also having a twin turbo makes it that much more unique.
Exactly.
And isn't that what SEMA is all about? It's just kind of like having that unique thing there.
Yeah, it's about being unique and pushing the limits and being innovative, kind of, you know, showing what's possible. You know, technology is real important in that. It's not just, you know, a carbureted, restored car that doesn't really show up. You know, it's all about the vendors, the parts, all the new stuff that's coming to the market.
Okay, and you mentioned new stuff in the last time we did it, and I want you to go over again. You said this car can be entirely operated from like a Droid or an iPad type of a device or something like that. Explain to me what you mean by the entire car can be operated like that. I'm just curious to know.
So there's a system called Ride Controller, and it's I bought a 16 circuit system. So there's 16 channels that you can control via Bluetooth. So we'll use one for start, one for ignition, one for, you know, the passenger side windows, driver side windows, so on and so on.
Okay.
So literally, there's an iPad in the car that folds down.
Okay.
And that'll be how you operate it when you're driving. So it's just at hand's reach, you know. And with that, we'll be able to have Pandora, the Ride Tech. Air ride system in this has an app as well, so that'll all be on the iPad. So everything on the car will be integrated into that iPad. And then at the same time, it'll also be all linked on my phone too. So the car won't have, I mean, it doesn't have door handles, it won't have keys, it doesn't have locks, it doesn't have anything.
Yeah, it's all, not only is it shaved, but it has no handles or anything like that. So when you activate a button on your iPad or your Droid or whatever phone you have, okay, is it going to be automatically like pop the door open?
It'll just pop, yeah.
Okay, so it'll be open enough and it'll unlatch. So all you have to do is
then you just open it normally.
Grab it and jump in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the rest from there you would just control from inside of the car. But the app has a password lock, so that in theory is my key. So even if somebody stole my phone, they wouldn't be able to get in the car without the password.
I see. Okay.
So it's kind of just a whole Bluetooth control system and security system.
That's pretty cool.
But the whole dash is left with no switches because of that. So there's no way to control the car without the iPad.
So it's going to be a totally smooth custom dash. So is this basically right here?
Yeah, that's the bare bones of it. I mean, it doesn't have any of the holes are for the AC vent and for the gauge cluster and the steering column.
So that opening over there, driver's side wise, is basically going to be where your iPad is, or going to be come down there?
No, that is actually the iPad case.
Oh, I see. Okay,
right
I see it right there.
I don't have a battery hooked up to it right now, but it folds down electrically when power's applied.
Now, you mentioned coupe instead of fastback, so it's not going to have back seats?
No, we actually, with the custom dash, the front seats, and I'm not tall, but I had to still move the front seats back 4 inches.
Okay.
The column's 4 inches longer, the shifter's back actually only 2 inches.
All right, cool.
So there would be no room for anybody in the back. So we're going to do a rear seat delete with like exposed batteries and maybe some small stereo stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it'll basically just be dead space back there.
Gotcha, but it's going to have the cool electronic stuff. That way it's not technically dead space. It'll have some
it's going to be used in full of stuff, but but that's basically there's no room back there. We may incorporate a car seat for my little girl.
Oh, there you go, right on. That's cool.
Something
right
small.
On,
that's about all there'd be space for.
Yeah, that's cool. Now take a look at this. You did some work in the back here, and I see a lot of custom work here. I don't know if folks can see that or not, but see that? You've done a lot of custom work on this, and tell me what you've done here. How can we see these marks on this car?
So a lot of this stuff I did a long time ago, so it might not be the way that we would do it nowadays in the shop. We would normally butt weld this and metal finish it, where this is an overlap seam. But the car got new quarter panels. Just they were rusted out when I got the car. So same with a couple sections of the floor pan. So those were replaced as well.
Okay. All right. I know you did something back here. Excuse me, folks. Back here with the taillights and whatnot. Now, didn't you say you were going to 3D the taillights?
So the buckets themselves are 3D printed, and then they're bonded into the car. And
sweet. Check this out. He's going to put some taillight lookalikes here.
These are all cut. These are basically what it'll look like when it's done. Obviously, they won't have the plastic on them, and then there'll be LEDs inside that light them all up. So that's kind of the finished look there. And then there's one here that we broke, but it's perfectly see-through, so light doesn't reflect through this. So you'll be able to see through all 3 taillights even when they're lit.
No kidding.
So it's kind of sign technology, but it's a pretty neat look when they're assembled.
That's pretty cool.
Something different.
And it's bright enough, of course, so you don't want.
Oh, they're crazy bright.
Are they really?
They're
that's
bright.
cool. Right on. I like that. All right. Now, are you going to have the windows like tinted? Are they going to be see-through?
It'll be like a light smoke on the glass.
Okay. All right. So nothing too dark, but something dark enough to make it look cool.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of blend in. The car's going to be like a dark silver, so it'll just kind of flow with that. I don't want it to be a fishbowl because there is not a lot of metal, I guess, as far as the roof's concerned. You know, it's pretty wide open with glass, so I kind of want it to still fill in a little bit.
All right. Now, you mentioned you're on a deadline.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your deadline? Do I mean, like what's the next step in this?
So it should go to paint on Tuesday. So in about 2 days, I got to finish the driver's door and then just take it back apart to get the engine and stuff back out of it, and then it'll roll down there, and they'll start body working it and get it just roughed in, 80 grit and primed, and then I'll get it back for about a week to fit all the glass. So I need it kind of roughed in to be able to do that. And once they do that, then it'll go back.
So then when you fit in all the glass, you're going to fit in the glass, but you're not going to keep the glass in. It's just going to be fitment.
Yeah, just be temporary.
Okay, and then you pull the glass out, send it back to paint for them to finish it up.
Yeah, and they'll actually keep the glass just because as material thickness, and if there does any more filler and stuff in places they needed it, obviously that can't be taken off once it's painted. So
all right.
That'll be like the final fit right before it gets sprayed. Will be the glass probably one more time.
Okay. So now after you get sprayed and cleared and dried and cured and all that other stuff, kind of like good beer takes a while, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would be the next step with that? Would that be the interior, electronics?
We'll start with assembly, basically turn it back into a roller. While it's at paint, we're gonna put the engine on a stand and get it actually running.
Okay.
So the whole goal is to basically have the whole car sitting here minus the body. So the rear end with the brakes and all the control arms will all be painted, done, assembled, waiting for the car to come back. Same with the front suspension, the engine, transmission, all that'll be assembled, painted, done, ready to dump in the car. So that way, when it comes back, it literally probably be a week and a half, 2 weeks before it looks like a car again.
No kidding.
So then all we have to do then is from that point is wire it, and I mean there's a lot of wiring, hook up the air conditioning, all that sort of stuff. So there'll be a ton of work
doing all the wiring and all that other stuff and whatnot, right?
Yeah, it'll be time consuming, and then from that point too, we'll have to do the final stuff on the interior.
Okay. So very, very cool. Well, I'll tell you, it's always a sincere pleasure having you on this channel. It's really, really cool. People are digging the heck out of it. I don't know if you've seen that all or not, but they really love the Corruptt Mustang, and I love the name, dude. I'm going to say it. I probably.
That's all my wife there.
Yeah. Oh, is it really?
Yeah, she's the one that picked out the name.
No, that's pretty cool, man. Well, thank you, wife. That's awesome. Yeah. So I want to thank you again, really, for being here with us today, and we're going to get in here. All right, crazies. Remember, this is Tony Army with American Legends. We have Corruptt here, and as I promised him before, we're not going to say the B word. So I love you guys. Please remember, stay tuned, subscribe, like what you see, share it with everybody, and like to say in Eric's Garage Zealand, love you guys. Drive it like you stole it, folks. Peace out, man. All right, thanks, Tony.
See you, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate it very much.